Oh my God, welcome to this episode of the podcast, you little apple inhalers. Guys, big old bite. Guess what's up? This episode of the podcast is now sponsored. Guess who it's sponsored by? Sorry, chewing in the beginning of my podcast. I know. Devastating. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by none other than the ASC, guys, Action Sports Community. Me and Patty Boy started this brand last year, and this season we're dumping a lot into it. We sponsored a couple athletes and stuff like that. And basically our whole goal behind it is to be able to give back to other action sports athletes, provide opportunities for them because it's expensive in this sport and stuff like that, and a lot of people don't have opportunities or just the money to chase their dreams in it. So our main goal is to be able to provide opportunities for people like that are, they're giving it all they got, but they just don't have the opportunities that other people have. And then our second goal is to put out some fucking insane content and put on the baddest events anybody's ever seen. The sickest stuff ever. Pit bike races in a carnival. Anything we can think of. We like, as you guys know, we have some insane ideas. So with that being said, the ASC brought to you by, this is the new brand of the podcast. It's the ASC podcast, Banged Up with Bruce Oldham. Stoked to have you guys on here. Stoked to have you guys in this episode. As of tomorrow, guys, we're dropping the summer collection. Whole new collection of stuff. Insane. I'm super stoked on that. And the summer collection, guys, every order through the summer collection, you guys get a mystery item that's literally anywhere from $15 to $30. So get extra $15 to $30 product. And guys, trust me, I made them myself. I came up with it myself. You're going to like the mystery item. It's badass. And also for the pre-sales that we're doing starting Friday. So today, if you guys are listening to this podcast, all the SC Classics, the one I'm wearing now, all the stuff you guys have seen me wear, the hats, the toques, all that stuff is 20% off as well. Only for the pre-sale Friday, probably through for a week. So keep that in mind, guys, and enjoy this episode of the podcast. It's super, super dope. And yeah, listen to me and Patty. Rage our spears. Good convos, good talks, good times, baby. See you in the next episode. I got some big guests coming for you guys. By the way, if you're listening to this right now, we got Bella Bacon, Steep coming on the podcast. Already filmed. I just have to edit them and upload them. Look forward to that in the next couple weeks. I think Goo's coming on soon too. Little Goo. So I'm stoked on that. Guys, many more podcasts to come. I'll see you guys in the future. I'm out. Deuces. Welcome, creatures of all shapes and sizes, to Banged Up with Bruce Oldham, a.k.a. The Kid. This is an action sports podcast, the likes of which the world may never have seen before and may never see again. I hope you guys enjoy.
I even went grocery shopping. I haven't been grocery shopping in a while. I don't do any shopping.
Nice. I'm waving my hand, so you can unload.
I'm eating cookies.
Eating cookies. Oh my god. Dude, I got tossed today a couple times.
Yeah? What? But you hitting the kids' jumps and you couldn't do it?
I actually did hit the kids' jump. First lap, I rolled through the park, right? First lap of the day. You know Mikael Kingsbury? Of course. The OG mogul god himself. He comes up, and apparently he knows who I am. He's like, hey, Bruce, how's it going? I'm like, hey, dude. First lap, I haven't warmed up. It's like 10. I hit a fat 180, right, on the first jump. Come cruising into the second jump. Turns out at 10, it gets really, really slushy now without me noting that. Fat switch cork 3, right to the knuckle, the switch backy. And there was no ride out of that. Just got tossed.
No ride out? You didn't
No,
you didn't pull the backy to feed, eh?
No, I did like a switch backy to my stomach. I didn't make it around. Pat's American sausages. Pat, when he eats, he puts like a huge plate, gets sauce on it, and puts as much sauce as possible on it. Don't know if you guys can see it in the vlog right now or in the podcast. Yeah, look at that. So much sauce. Just the most disgusting contraption of sauce ever. But he's just mowing hot dogs or sausages on the podcast, but that's okay. It's his dinner time. It looks good. He was shirt cocking it earlier, but his girlfriend made him put on pants, which is kind of disappointing, to be honest. But I mean, it is what it is. It's good to see you again. We were talking about I just catching up talking about some shit, but me and Patty are going on the West Coast Trail very, very soon. For those of you guys who don't know who that is, Pat, you want to explain what it is? Because I can't remember. I'm half cooked.
It's a trail on the coast, and 70-something kilometers.
70-something kilometers, trail on the coast.
I do know it's a lot of up and down stuff, so like there's a lot of bridges and ladders and sorts of kind of contraptions and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. See?
So like 70K, we could do that in like 2 days, but if it was flat, but the amount of up and down stuff is just not practical.
Yeah, it's like a 6-day hike, and turns out his girlfriend Kat, that got ran over by an Indian dude last time I was there with her and got hurt, and we had to take her to the hospital. She also has a is it confirmed ACL goneness or not confirmed
she needs
yet?
an MRI. They kind of like dipped around. Like she went and saw a doctor in January and then got x-rays and stuff in Vancouver. And then was supposed to have an MRI appointment June 9th. And then turns out they didn't actually book an MRI and that those x-rays weren't valid. She had spent all this time since January just wasting her time. And then went in today and got an x-ray, and the doctor thinks there's no ACL. So.
Well, that's absolutely pleasant. Anyway, so we were supposed to go hiking the trail with her two friends, and then me and Patty, which sounds like a good time for me, and everybody else involved.
I'm getting texts. It's 90-plus kilometers because we don't start at the start point.
Oh, is Kat in the other room listening to the podcast? If she wants to come in, she can come in. I don't care. Kat, you're more than welcome to show your pretty face on the podcast.
She has to take a 12K to get to the trailhead, apparently.
Okay, so it's like 90 kms. So we got a big unit ahead of us. Either way, the moral of the story is me and Pat are not planners. We are not thinkers. We don't actually figure most things out until we're midway through it. So if Kat ends up being missing from this hike, I guarantee something probably catastrophic is going to happen.
That's for beginners.
Dude. Did I tell you about the kids that I'm living with? So,
yeah, they've been putting food outside.
So the one kid saw wolves outside, and he loves wolves one day. So he's been taking the leftover meat and stuff from all the dinners and putting it outside the front door of our condo. And there was a bear outside there the other morning, at like bright and early in the morning. And he went out after the bear. And
what was he gonna do? Fight the bear?
I don't know. I was having cereal, and Lisa's like, "Has Ely came back in a bit?" I'm like, "Where'd he go?" And she's like, "Oh, he went to go take a picture of the bear up close." I'm like, that's just so stupid. I like run outside. Yeah, just try to get a nice face shot of the bear, I guess. I don't know.
Listen, personal.
I don't work here. Dude, you should see it in... Actually, guess where I'm recording this podcast live from?
The laundromat.
No. The
squash court.
The sky view of the squash court. I'm in the basement.
Is that where you saw the disappointing scenes from last night?
Yeah, the disappointing scenes, yeah. Dude, look at the transitions. You're getting good at this podcasting thing, man. We are not an action sports podcast. I think I classify fighting as action sports. I don't know. It's like kind of in a genre of its own, but it's kind of the most
combat sport. It's its own thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of very action sportsy, in the fact that it's gnarly as fuck. Anyways, UFC 262.
Consequences in hockey, but
there's a lot of consequences.
Someone broke his humerus last night.
Dude, that was like gnarly bad.
Well, the last two fights, there's been substantial bone fracture injuries.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. Well, the last fight we watched with Chris Weidman, where he kicked the dude and
the last two cards. Yeah, he fucking whacked his leg.
Wrapped his leg around it. I'm a pretty big MMA fan. Pat's getting into it. His brother's pretty big into it. But we've been watching the fights. Last night, Pat was FaceTiming me while the fights were going on because I was running around trying to go into the laundry room to find good enough Wi-Fi to watch them. Anyways, Jacare got his arm snippety snapped. Me and Pat, we're dude, that is a hot dog. You when you deep throat that. That's nice. We should have a podcast where we just eat food sexually for like just once a year. Just eat food sexually on the podcast. A little ASMR.
The Christmas special.
The Christmas special with Pat and Bruce. We just shove things down our throat. Anyways. Off topic, UFC 256. Me and Patty were both cheering for Ferguson. We wanted him to make a comeback. However, I wasn't too sure if it was going to happen. He got dominated, to be honest.
I honestly did not like that fight. I understand that it's very talented and skilled, but I hate watching him just
ground fights.
8 minutes of ground control stuff sucks.
It does, and like even if you know, like even for me, I know I have a good understanding of grappling, and I understand what's going on, but it's just not as interesting. Like obviously, people want to see people get knocked out. Beneil Dariush literally he dominated them pretty much the whole time. Had him in a heel hook. Tony didn't tap. Definitely fucked something in his knee.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything yet.
I don't know. The Beneil did the interview after, and he said like he felt it all pop, and then Tony just like yeah, and then then Tony just started kicking him, and he's like, and he got out of it. But yeah, sucks for Tony. I don't know what's gonna happen with him. Then Big Patty you were hard on the Chandler train last night. I mean, I was too, but
I wanted him to come in and just do 2 fights in a I mean, he dominated the first round, and it was like so fast in the second round.
Dude, he got his back taken in the beginning. I thought he was going to be pretty fucked out of the first round, but then he got out of it, and then he just plowed him. I thought it was over.
I don't know that much about him, but like I know more about like how good Charles' grappling stuff is, and I was like the strength of him to just kind of like pull his hands off and like he does the stand up and jump thing.
Dude, when he back slammed him, no, it didn't help at all. But it was pure gold, dude. He just jumped.
I think I was like, hey, he didn't gain anything from this, but I mean, I like it. He just stood up and just.
You know those dudes dive people do off the big cliffs, like where they stomach drop off like 60 feet? It's kind of like that with the dude on your back onto the canvas. It was pretty sick. But, dude, yeah, he got caught real clean and just out.
Glass chinned him.
Yeah. I mean, Charles is a pretty sick fighter, but
yeah.
Like we were talking, it'd be pretty funny to watch somebody come in straight from Bellator and just take the UFC crown. Guess we gotta see what happens with the McGregor fights coming up next. I mean,
when is that fight?
I don't know. I have to look. It's July something. I think July 15th. So it's not far away by any means.
Connor.
Big Con Daddy makes a comeback or falls off the train. We don't know. Yeah. Oh, so that
he's fighting best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, he won the first one a while back. Obviously, Poirier won the last one, and then we're going on from there. Yeah, guys, we're gonna keep reporting on MMA every once in a while just because it's interesting. I think it's interesting. Pat clearly likes watching people get the humorous snapped, and yeah.
No, I mean the humorous one wasn't as good. I don't know. As I got more into it, like I said, I understand the technicality of the ground stuff, and I like some ground stuff. But I don't like 3 straight rounds of just some guy controlling somebody.
Dude.
Okay, it's just tap him out or stand up and fight. Come on. It's like playing Fortnite. We keep building and building and building. It's like, all right, at some point here, we're going to have to fight.
At some point, man, you got to stop fucking building. I can't shoot you. You can't shoot me. Come on. Did you watch the 2 Chikes fight before?
I did. I watched that fight. I was like,
To be honest, I actually went and shit during that fight. I watched the first round, and then I was like, I don't need to watch the rest and poop.
When I say I watched it, it was on. There wasn't anything really gnarly going on.
And
it was not in the Nunes fight.
It's Pat's a big Nunes fan. He loves when Nunes just claps other girls' cheeks, which he tends to do quite often. Yeah, honestly, like most girls' fights, like not that I'm saying like I don't like watching them. I love watching Valentina Shevchenko. There's a couple girl fighters that I really find entertaining, but there's a majority of them that it's just not the same level of fighting. And goes the same for men as well. Like there's just some of them where it's like, hey, like there's grapplers that are like even interesting grapplers. Like even Khabib, I find when he grapples, it's interesting, but because he's always pressuring and always throwing strikes, but even some of these, like some of the men, some of the girls, but they just stand up and just trade like shots like once every minute, and it's just a little too like sparring-ish, not just pure violence. There was one fight that what was the fight where the dude just ran at the guy? They just ran at each other right in the beginning. It was over so fast. Fuck. And then there was the Hurricane Chain. Why am I forgetting his name? Shane Burgos. Burgos versus Barboza. Pat's like, this one's straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean. He was all gassed up.
I called him Burgers. I wasn't.
Burgers and Barboza take to the stand.
Dude, that one was ridiculous. The amount of time, I remember I took a Snapchat and I saved it. Like, the delay when he got clipped and he just got hit and he's like, all right, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
And then he
just
teeters back and KOs. Yeah, that was the weirdest KO I've ever seen. I've never seen somebody get hit like that and delayed KO. But
the thing is, you didn't really watch that fight from the get-go, because your internet was kind of out?
No, I was trying to find the laundromat. I watched the last round where he got knocked out, though.
Like, a few seconds in, like, it started, and he had his foot hard planted, and Barboza was landing, like, really aggressive leg kicks. So, like, all of the first round, like, the fact, I guess he just got clipped and his legs were just rubbered at that point. There was no way he was going to be able to balance.
Dude, was that the second round or the third round? I think it was the third, right?
I think it was the third, yeah. I don't remember.
Right? Those boys went.
Yeah, it was wild, the fact that it was. Yeah,
those boys went to war. And the Chandler versus Oliveira fight was pretty good, too. It was an aggressive fight for how long it lasted. I wanted it to last even more rounds just because I wanted to see a little bit more fighting at the main card, but that's just me because I went all the way to the squash courts where I am now to watch it. And I was like, man, it better be like a little bit longer than if Mike Chandler comes out in 30-second KOs and like he did Dan Hooker, but that didn't happen.
How far is the squash court?
It's literally, it's like probably 300 feet away, but then I could go into the hotel, sneak in because I'm not supposed to be here after hours, and then come down here. And I've got my own little pad by the laundry room that nobody comes and bothers me. Yeah. It's kind of pimping. Yeah, honestly, like I was going to do the podcast at that place, but the Wi-Fi isn't as good. Your beautiful face might have been fuzzy, and also I would have little kids bothering me the entire time, so I didn't want that. I wanted,
get those TikTok streaming, right?
Dude, Pat knows about this, but the other night they HDMI TikTok videos to the TV and we're blasting it full blast while I was trying to edit videos. I almost poured coffee in my eyes, but it was all good. It is what it is. Dude, we're going to get this podcast out, and it's coming along very, very nicely, actually.
Why don't you get Mikhail Kingsbury on the podcast?
Dude, I should, man. I don't know how good his English is. It seemed pretty good.
You were talking to him?
I have no clue what to talk to him about. How do those bumps feel in your knees, mate? Pretty shitty, I bet.
He's one of the most accomplished action sports athletes.
I don't know if I count moguls as action sport, boss.
No, let's refresh this. He's one of the most accomplished mogul athletes, if not the most accomplished mogul athlete.
He is the most accomplished.
He definitely probably has a lot of interesting stuff to talk about in terms of, like, I even remember going to Momentum in 2014, and he's like, yeah, let me just swap a single cork 21 off of this. Double, whatever the bristlet jump you want to call it. It's not really a mogul. It's like a build-a-block kind of takeoff off of like a 30-foot cliff. They're like, all right, we'll come in here, make it around however high, and then we'll just start building blocks on top and then make a transition.
Oh,
it is the most ratchet ramp ever.
The water ramp. Yeah, the water
West.
ramp is pretty ratchet at West. No, it'd be no like.
I was there 2014, yeah, and he was whipping stuff.
Like,
he did a triple, maybe too.
He would be such a sick person to have on the podcast, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know him very well, but I mean, I can always make it happen. I'm not somebody who I mean, I'm pretty outgoing when I want to be, but like sometimes
really, are you really close with Aline Gu, and you're gonna ask her to come on the podcast?
I already asked Aline Gu to come on. She actually, Aline, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm sorry. She slid into my DMs to say congrats on my big run, and I thought that was pretty cool of her. You know,
what run?
The 50K I did the other day. Did we talk about that in the last podcast?
No, we didn't talk. Was that after or before?
I think it was after. RedBull Wings for Life run. They have every year they do Wings for Life. Dude, yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, I don't think we.
No, we didn't talk about this. Anyways, as you're just plowing sausages down your throat in the podcast.
On the third one.
Oh man, how many are you gonna eat?
3. I have my vegetables. I got some vegetables.
Very nice. Anyways, yeah, so RedBull Wings for Life, they do run every year in support for spinal cord research, and I signed up for it. Big Patty Boy signed up for it. Patty Boy's been doing a little bit of running lately, but you put on a pace there, sir. You put on a goddamn pace, and since we're out in BC...
I picked a route with a lot of descending.
That's probably a smart thing to do. I didn't think it through like that, but...
It was also, as you know, it was early, but it was, I don't know, got a good sleep, was ready for it.
Yeah, no, like, so when...
Honestly, to be honest, I think that the downhill mountain biking has been incredibly good for the cardio.
Yeah.
Not so much the downhill, more the trying to pedal a downhill bike uphill.
Yeah.
Is really aggressive.
Because Pat bought a downhill mountain bike, but all the trails are not
I'm not a whisk
operated.
getting lifted. It's all like, I went to Woodlot and it's got a, I don't know, probably close to 4K bike up per run. And it is like an aggressive amount of incline, like probably 500 meters. And on a downhill bike, like the lowest gear is not that low. Like it is not great.
No, not at all. Yeah, anyways, the run started at 4 in the morning for Pat, 5 in the morning for me. Pat hit 21K.
21 point, yeah. So I was going to do 15, but I took a wrong turn, and I did not really calculate the implications, and I ended up 15 like a ways from home. I was like, oh, okay, well, I may as well just keep running. And
ran until he had to take a big old deuce, and then the catcher car caught up to him. But I think Pat put on the fastest.
I hit end. I was like, I gotta
Fair
go
enough.
to the wall. I was like, I'm gonna just call her.
Fair enough,
at this
dude.
point.
Your pace was pretty insane. You did it in a 4 minute and something pace. It was like 4 minutes and like 10 seconds or 30 seconds or something ridiculous like that.
4:40, I think.
4:40, yeah. It's a fast pace, man. Like you did 20K in a good time.
4:40. That was what
was your time?
Thing.
Yeah, 20K in an hour and 20 minutes. That's pretty good, dude. That's very good. Yeah, especially since you aren't really a runner. And myself,
I used to be.
Yeah, I used to be, but now you have fucking 3 ACL surgeries and knees that don't get used for running much. Anyways, yeah, so I set off to do 50K. I did 50K. It was a pretty decent track. At like 20 kilometers, I did the same thing as Pat. I took a huge morning coffee deuce, so that took 3 minutes off my time for sure. And then I trekked myself to 50K. I got lost a couple times, ended up on some native burial grounds. Did I tell you about that? Oh, dude, so I was coming back, so I ran 20K, right? And then I ran, and then I started running. I ran to that one side of Banff from the other side. Then I started taking a loop road around the mountain, like up into the mountain. And then I found these these trails, like just hiking trails, mountain biking trails and stuff. And I started just trudging my way along those, right? Just charging them, because you get bored of running on the road. You don't want to do that forever, especially when you're doing 50K. Like otherwise, you're just gonna blow your brains out running on the road. And then, so I started following these trails, and I kept following the trails until I literally got lost. And I went down this huge hill on, like, a dirt road, and, went down it for, 4 or 5K. And then ended up at the bottom of the road, and I thought I was pretty close to where my house was because I needed to get water. I hadn't had water in, 30K because I left the water at the house. And, and I found this little trail. I'm like, this is going in the right direction of the house. This is going to be it. This is perfect. Because they have, little horse trails that go from place to place, too, as well. So I'm running along this, and I just stumble across this native burial site. And it was a dead end. And then I had to run all the way back up this hill, 5K. And I was pretty pissed off. I was at, 35K.
I should have put it on Strava. I didn't know. For some reason, I thought that the Red Bull run was connected to Strava.
I thought it was too, and I think it is, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. It didn't record my run either way, and I was kind of pissed because I wanted to know what my elevation change was.
Yeah.
But I didn't get, so I don't know if you noticed what yours was. Did you have a lot of incline, though, on your run? Or?
A decent amount, but not insane. I could look at it after the podcast, and I'll let you know. The funny thing is, you know how people can donate for how many kilometers you run? Yeah, so Bonnie donated for how many kilometers I run.
In euros.
No, not in euros. But apparently after the catcher car catches you, so after the catcher car caught me, right?
You're out
at 18, 19K. Yeah, but I didn't turn that app off, so it kept counting my kilometers. So it billed her for the 50K because it didn't shut off on the app. Like technically, the car caught up to me, but it still counted every kilometer I did after the car caught up to me somehow. So I forget how much money she did per kilometer, but instead of doing 20, she got 50K worth. So that was a time. Yeah, Eileen DM'd me and she's asking me what my training strategies and stuff were, and I was like, there was a week. It was a week before it, and I just started running as much as I could before because I was not prepared at all.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh, Megan's back on snow, eh? Been skiing laps with Big Meg, Wag Chipper. Been skiing laps with Megan. She's on snow now. Done 2 days.
Just kind of keeping it chill or what?
She's allowed to hit boxes now. She hit some boxes and did some front twos today. Dude, guess what I did today? Guess what trick? Mini jump, taking off switch, landing forward.
Switch braining.
Yes. I'll send you the video. It went so wrong.
That's how I used to do my switch rodeos back in the day when I was learning. I didn't know how to do it.
Dude, I almost smoked my head off the takeoff. It was bad. But yeah, no, I actually got after today. Sent it pretty good. It was fun. Dude, it's pretty. Banff is really sick, actually. Just in terms of Sunshine Village, but yeah, it's just I got up there at 10:30 today, and everything was just soup already. It was just super slushy.
I mean, it was 26 degrees here. It is May 16th.
Yeah, I mean, this is the latest I've ever skied any season ever.
I mean, it's not bad. I don't know how the park is there, but I mean,
The
If
park's
Whisk
super
was
mini.
running, it would have been better. But with Whisk being closed, this is probably the best place you're going to be.
Yeah, this park is like smaller than the junkyard. But then they have the huge park they built for all the Olympic team athletes, like the NAT team and stuff, to train up on. And
I was looking at some of the videos. I think it was one in particular Mac Moffat posted
Yeah,
of
he
a
did.
Dub 14.
Yep.
The landing looks really short on that first
It
jump.
is super
like,
short
You could
on
gap it pretty
both
easily.
jumps. Did I tell you what happened to Nick, the guy that was living with me, the snowboarder?
I think you said, he was the first one to hit and he overshot it.
Yeah. So one video Max did his Dub 14 on was on the small side. The big side is bigger, but the landing's still the same and still a short.
Is there any videos? Because I've been kind of seeing
There's
stuff. but I haven't
a
seen
video of him overshooting it. I don't know who has it. I can maybe ask him and he can send it to me. I don't think he wants people to see it as much because it's pretty gnarly. But he did literally. I was explaining to you. Yeah, we talked about this, and he almost did exactly what you did. Caught the spoon, full ACL, first one to try to hit it. So, yeah, the landing is short. Very short.
How much? So yeah, because that video that Max posted.
Yeah.
Was that was on the small line? You're saying?
Yeah, that was on the jumps are just side by side, but they have a sidecar for the women's. It's the same thing, but that's just what they've been doing with the.
So that was on the sidecar?
Yeah. That's just sidecar.
And there's 2 jumps in a row, eh?
Yeah, the second jump's even smaller, and the speed looks like it's pretty hard for it. I was gonna ask if I could hit them with the boys, but honestly, man, I don't know. I'm just kind of clocked out for the season. I just want to ski and have fun with my friends. I've worked trained so hard this year. I don't know. I'm just kind of down just to enjoy it and
That's fair.
get the
Very
last
fair.
4 or 5 days out of the way, and then go home and enjoy some summer and get back to maximizing MMA, podcasting and YouTube and stuff, and get all that good shit on. Somebody, here we go. Your thing's blocking his name. Mike Wirononi was listening to the last episode of the podcast. I know I butchered his name. And, one sec. I'm going to pull it back up. And he was just saying, because we were talking about how the NAT team didn't bring anybody on this year, right? All that stuff, whatever. And he said, listen to your podcast. Don't give up on your ski dreams because you didn't reach your goals as early as you wanted. You demonstrated athletic ability, drive to achieve, and the ability to find resources you need. Just keep chopping wood. The biggest trees eventually fall. I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you, bud, for your DM. The biggest trees eventually fall, and I'm going to fell some big-ass trees.
Keep wailing that axe hammer.
The funny thing about my axe is it's located in my pants. But I'm going to keep wailing with it. Man, I'm really messing up the screen recording here.
Keep wailing your meat axe.
Your meat axe. Oh my god, that reminds me. Okay, so we had me and Pat. We're coming up with the spring ASC collection, guys. DM me if you guys have any ideas for things you want us to put in the ASC spring collection, or leave a review on the podcast and I'll look at them. But we were thinking of a couple T-shirts, a headband, some shorts, and some sandals. But upon the sandals, we had decided to make a unique tread, but we need your input. The tread on the bottom of the sandals is going to be in the shape of what?
Well, we gotta put a poll up and see what people want.
Yeah, exactly.
We go voodoo clam. We can kick it voodoo clam style.
Just
a crab or something with his.
A crab with 2 clams, 2 hatchet wounds, and his claws. Anyways, no, we were gonna put penis treads on the bottom of the sandals, but we were
What
thinking.
if we get your left sandal as that, and then your right sandal as the voodoo crab?
So the right sandal's a hammer, and the left sandal's a clam.
Yeah.
The hammer and clam sandal combo would be pretty fire.
Hand clam.
The hand clam. But we are coming.
Edition. We're making 12 sizes, and we're making 12, one in each size from 1 to 12.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the treads on the sandals can either be a bunch of mini hammers or a big hammer, or they could just be a bunch of clams. I'll let you guys leave your reviews down below. Let us know what you think about what treads we should put on the sandals. We have some good ideas. I was you were finally opening up about your feelings. Kat was telling me the other day.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you guys have a little therapy session or what?
No, not really. Hang on just a second. I got this in the microwave.
Yeah, no worries. The podcast camera's doing good. It hasn't died yet.
Oh, sorry, I heard it back.
Yeah. No, Kat was telling me you were opening up about your feelings. Pat's not a very feeling open up guy. He doesn't even let me cuddle with him when he's at home with me, which is kind of disappointing. So The fact he's opening up to his girlfriend is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I remember there was a time when I moved into your house for the summer, and we just slept in the same bed for like a month because this couch was so shit.
What summer was that?
That was like the first summer.
Oh, when we were in the cottage?
Before the cottage, like we were in your house before we went out to the cottage, and I was like either on the shitty black couch that you had.
Yes, in the basement.
Yeah.
Or you were cuddling with me, and then we had bunk beds, and by bunk beds we had 2 single mattresses on the floor in a room together.
Then we got bunk beds.
That we did get bunk beds. We did upgrade to bunk beds eventually.
That was wild. We had the whole cottage to ourselves, yet we just decided to sleep on the floor in single beds in the same room.
There's 3 other rooms. Oh my god, we threw a couple ragers that year, and we went cliff jumping. And
we would play Fortnite because we had good internet, not knowing that your parents were getting slapped with like $300 a month internet bills.
Oh my god, yeah, because it wasn't unlimited internet out there, and man, yeah, we did some fun ass stuff there. That was awesome. We got to do another season there. I'm actually replacing Pat's bed at the Casa de Bonnie. It's gonna feel lonely with just the normal family there. We need another person for the hostel. So, one sec, I gotta turn the camera back on. She died. She croaked.
Your camera's run its course, eh?
Yeah, after 30 seconds, it takes a little dive, and then I gotta turn it back on, and we're good. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, no, we're looking to replace your spot in at Casa de Bonnie this year. I'm thinking I'm gonna invite Jack to come stay a couple nights, move in for the summer. Bonnie's gonna feel like she's gonna feel alone with no one else there to live in the hostel.
I got a memory from last year. This time we were building a rock wall.
Oh yeah, we put a big foam mattress outside the rock wall, and like my little brother climbed up like 30 feet while he was home alone on this rock wall.
1 year ago today.
Yeah, 1 year ago today we were building the backyard setup. Dude, I look cooked in that.
Ramp upgrade.
Yes, we ran out of M Snow and had to do multiple ramp upgrades till it finally worked.
Tore it apart. No, I guess it was yesterday. I got a memory of you driving that like little 1.8 ton excavator, like the little thing.
Yeah.
And we had that rock, and it was like it wouldn't even hold it between the bucket and the blade, and the excavator was, it was just way.
Dude, we were just trying to pick up the biggest possible rock we could find. Building Bonnie.
We had the smallest excavator we could get, and we were like,
dude,
yeah, we can make this
that was
work,
that was the start of my property maintenance company right there. Me and Pat did some backyard additioning for Bonnie, and then I fired up a property maintenance company for the summer. That was
where
fun.
The inspiration came from.
Oh, look at that technique on the kid, man. I am just wheeling that rock around. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's some good shit.
That was building the wall.
Dude, yeah, good memories. We're gonna have to do some stuff this summer.
This is before we built the thing.
Oh yeah, we got bored one day, and we built the impromptu. Is that a Dalbaki? That was sketchy.
Yeah, you missed the mat. Someone threw the mat in the wrong spot.
we built an impromptu tree fort-ish thing, like 20 feet above the trampoline.
Just permanently there, tarnishing the look of Bonnie's yard.
Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood with like the world's most shit tree stand / tree fort. Demi and Pat whipped together in an hour because we were bored.
Code. It is. We used like 2.5-inch decking screws to go through.
Dude, it's barely into the bark.
No, it's not. It's not even through the bark. It's through like the engine, whatever, decking, and it's right into the bark.
Yeah, it's like.
And every time you pull on it, it like turns, and then it
turns. The steps,
the
steps wiggle every single time you grab onto it. It is not safe. I was listening to Kevin Gates Out the Mud on the way to the ski hill today, and it reminded me of the Torn Yater Walls podcast edit he made that 1 year. I fucking missed that kid on skis, man. I want to see more content out of him.
What happened to him?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. You used to be a big Torn Yater Walls dick rider at one point, so I was just wondering if you knew. I mean, you got hurt at Dew Tour. You got hurt at Dew Tour, and then you kind of did a bit of backcountry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, he made there's a whole movie. I think it was called Deviate or something with Jossie Wells.
Yeah.
Like, did you not watch that one?
I did watch that one.
That was pretty good. And then I think he had his screws removed from his due to her accident. When he broke both his heels. Other than that, I think he's mainly just been filming backcountry.
I mean, it is what it
That's
is.
it.
I missed that guy in skis.
Yeah.
That was my part of my question actually was, you know how he did like a big season project, and like a lot of athletes used to do big season projects, and at the end of the year, even like pretty much every athlete coming up, like we did all as kids, would save all of our clips for a big like end of season project. You think that's dead? I feel like that era is kind of dead. Like you don't see that anymore. I feel like all the clips are leaked to Instagram or something like that before. Like nobody saves clips, nobody saves anything just for a season edit, and nobody
It's really
puts out a
hard.
big
Like,
project at the end of the
I
year.
remember probably 2017, 18, like that era, or 18, 19 or something. I made an edit, and I like genuinely didn't post anything.
Is it on YouTube still?
That I used in the edit. Yeah.
Okay, we'll link it below in the podcast just so that people can see Pat swing his meat hammer.
But I remember, like, I posted an Instagram video, and it was weird because it got one of the more views and likes of the videos that I posted. But me, knowing that I didn't want to post any of my good content, just posted all the shit stuff I had, and it got, like, one of the most amount of views.
Oh, I remember that one. I remember that, yeah.
It was some throwaway clips, and it was just like, not everything was just useless. Like, did a switch. I supposed to do a super fit, and there's kids on the landing, so I stopped. I was like, what the heck? The kid broke his collarbone because he yeeted himself off the cannon into somebody else.
Oh, yeeted his... Dude, I've been loving the word yeeted lately. That has been on my list.
No.
I was listening to a podcast, Two Planker podcast. It's by another skier. And he was interviewing this guy Twigs, who's like runs New Schoolers and does all the content and posts like everything for them. He basically runs New Schoolers right now, and they're talking about like the kind of skiers that are coming up and what they want to see, like, or like what kind of skiers you want to see like coming up in the industry. And they're talking about how like the core skiers, like there's not that many of them anymore, and we got people walking down in the podcast area. Just strolling their way to time out. They're strolling their way to the pool. This is also in the pool area vicinity as well. Anyways, they're talking about it's a pretty nice area actually. I've kind of coined it as my own. Anyways, they're talking about like the core group of skiers kind of being dead outside of like Zoot Space. You haven't watched that, but like Child Labor and like Vishnu and stuff like that, and those companies. And they're talking about how skiing, it kind of goes like trickles down from skate style influence to snowboard style influence to ski style influence, and like everything kind of comes from skating in the action sports community, and action sports. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on that, because I think they're kind of right. Like trends and stuff kind of come down from skating and they come down into snowboarding, and then skiing catches on almost last.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yes, we definitely get a lot of style changes from snowboarding, and we get it from skateboarding. But like, it goes and changes. Like, there was definitely an era where skiing was drawing from skateboarding, but they were still making it their own.
Yeah.
So that kind of turns like this. I'm trying to think what time frame it would be, but like early 2000s, like skiing was definitely pretty close with snowboarding with baggy stuff. Like the whole industry was kind of the same. Yeah. But
skateboarding used baggy stuff back then, or like punk rock stuff.
This. I mean, everything was pretty closely related, and at the start, everything kind of would have come from skateboarding.
And then there was like overalls. People like not very many skaters wearing overalls, but there was some. And then like snowboarders started wearing like suspenders, or like bibs, and then skiers started wearing bibs. And it's like, okay, guys.
Yeah, well, you could see like sometimes people like there's specific ski brands of outerwear, and like sometimes skiers will use it, or sometimes they'll use something that snowboarders are wearing. And like I'm pretty sure this snowboard style, or this I'll pull one style in particular, puffy under bib pants, that definitely came from snowboarding first.
Yeah, for sure.
And then skiers definitely picked up on that. And I think what else does, I mean, there's some things that definitely, like, the competition style, though, and the way the sport has evolved with, like, governing bodies definitely has not gone the same way as skateboarding.
No. And, well, even skateboarding's been able to keep it more core in terms of, like, people are posting, like, a lot of skateboards and stuff, they post kind of, like, ski content, or, like, not ski content, like social media content, right? But a lot of these skaters, like, even if they compete in street, even if they compete in park skating, even the ones that compete in vert, really, they all put out some sort of edit, and they put some sort of project together, whereas skiing you always get, like, not always, sorry, you get a lot of people that are almost solely focused on competing and and maybe they post occasional social media clip, but, like, edit wise, nothing. Making videos and stuff, nothing. Snowboarding is kind of in between, but yeah, it's just kind of weird. I was watching one of the kids that I was living with, that snowboarder, Ely, put on a movie. It was I forgot the name for a second. Kevin Pierce. It was about Kevin Pierce. Do you know who he is?
I heard the name.
Pro snowboarder. He was, like, with Shaun White back in the day, and, like, almost was beating him in a bunch of events, and he hit his head and he got fully paralyzed.
Yes, I do remember that.
No, he went into a coma. Sorry, he went into a coma, and he was fully paralyzed and stuff for that. And I watched that with him. I'm like, oh my god, man!
I think I've seen some of that.
Yeah, it is very good. It's very interesting, and, like, I was shredding Spring Park without my helmet on and stuff like that, as I do a lot of the time. But I don't know. I just kind of, like.
If you want to look back, if you want to talk about the significance of head injuries in the sports, like, I'm not talking getting a concussion or repetitive concussions, which, yes, are dangerous, but I'm talking about just specific deaths in the ski industry. If it was not avalanche related, it was pretty much head injury. Like,
yeah, you don't die from much thing else.
Remember, was it C.R. Johnson?
I think so, yeah.
I feel really bad for forgetting his last name, but I know it was C.R. whatever, something like.
Yeah, it's Johnson.
Yeah. He got landed on, I think is what it was.
Really?
And, yeah, he had, like, 2 head injuries back to back. Ended up dying from it. Sarah Burke hit her head.
Yeah, that was Sarah Burks was in her thing. It was in the movie.
Yeah, but she tore something. I think she tore an artery in her neck. I think something like that. Lost blood flow or something.
Yeah, it was just super gnarly. Like, I even watched his, like, half pipe fall, and, like, it was pretty bad. But it wasn't, like, because they had the clip in there, but it wasn't the worst half pipe fall I've ever seen. And, like, he had a helmet on and everything, and still, like, man, like, that completely changes and alters your life, and it's, like, kind of made me realize, like, obviously I know how dangerous what we do is and stuff like that, and I understand it, but, like, you kind of lose touch of that every once in a while when you don't think about it as an athlete. You're, like, especially in action sports, you're, like, you feel like, not like you're indestructible, but you just don't think of, like, well, obviously you can't think of worst case, otherwise you can't push yourself, right? But it's just, like, it's gnarly to see what can happen, like, and like, tons of other people have fallen, like, harder than that or like that, and just maybe a little concussion, fine, or maybe nothing at all. And it just depends. And, like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's life. You get the shit draw of it, but I watched that and I was like, damn, that's gnarly. Made sure I wore my helmet the last couple days.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, now that I'm done really, like, competing and skiing and stuff, and with what I'm trying to do with my career, I've done a lot more medical training and stuff, and you understand how different body systems work and how traumatic injuries actually, like, the physics behind a lot of different stuff. And yeah, in terms especially spinal cord and neck injuries, stuff like that, like, you can break a vertebrae, that's fine, but that's all just protecting your spinal cord. And if you break your spinal cord, the best way the way that it works is if you break it up here, you can lose everything below that point.
Yeah.
So, and, like, there's one in, like, your C, whatever it is, 6, or I think maybe your C3 controls your diaphragm. I don't really know which one it is, but if you sever there, you're done breathing. Like, that's why certain ways you break your neck, like, and it can be the slightest way. Dude, just such a difference. It can make such a small amount can make such a large difference.
And it's not usually something big that makes that difference. No. Like, it's usually, like, just the luck of it, really. And with that being said, I wanted to say, like, it's pretty cool that you're learning this stuff, because you know like Joe Rogan on his podcast has, like, specialists come in. Yeah, that's your role now, bud. You're taking over the role as a specialist.
Full disclosure, I am not a specialist.
Pat, the medical professional here, Dr. Patrick Lindsay in the house.
Wear your helmet. That's one thing that skiing, I think, took from snowboarding. That snowboarding made its own is they started wearing helmets. Like,
No,
you
skating-
cannot wear a helmet as a skateboarder.
You
if
cannot.
you're a skateboarder and you wear a helmet, you look like an idiot. And I don't know why it is that way. But for me, if I watch a skateboarder and you have like unless you're vert skating, if you're vert skating, yes, you can have a helmet and knee pads on. But if you're riding a park and you have a helmet or knee pads or anything, I'm like, did your mom not let you take your equipment off? Like, it sounds really bad, but like that's what goes through my mind.
But it's just because that's
and
how skating.
Snowboarding and skiing, it has become accepted. Like, I never actually wore any pads or anything. Like,
No, I don't like that. Like,
no,
like
some people
that
do,
isn't
and they can
that
hide
isn't
it.
accepted yet. Same as helmets aren't accepted in skateboarding. Not in my opinion, at least. Like I've seen people ride them.
No,
I've thought about it, but I can't bring
personally,
myself to do it.
Yeah, some guys used to have those back protectors. Excuse me, that would
People
bend
still
over.
do.
So I wore knee braces because of my knees, and I wear a helmet. And
That's
I wore
knee
a mouth
braces
guard
is
at some
different.
points, but not really.
Knee braces is different. You need knee braces whether
The
you're
helmet, thankfully, has been accepted, and it's become part of its own sort of thing.
still not in street. Hasn't been accepted in street, which is
No,
the
still,
stupidest.
but, like,
that is the stupidest thing. If you're like if you fall in like hitting a street rail
Hit, like,
hard,
a cement stair set, yeah.
that is gonna rock your dome so much more than catching an edge on a triple cork or not landing a triple cork. Usually, like not always, but like in most
You
cases,
do a treble cork, you're trying to keep it at 14, you land a little to the side, you land and fall over.
You land on your
You're trying to
side.
do a front swap on a down flat down with a cement stair set that you shoveled out because it has to look gnarly for the set, and you don't quite jump enough, catch your tail, and then you just head first onto the stairs.
yes, that is 100% worse than like hitting a jump. Like, so I mean,
wouldn't
rolls
say
are kind
I
of.
don't respect people who don't wear helmets in street riding. I definitely wouldn't say it. I mean, it's
Every
not
time
really- but for
I've ever
me-
rode street, I've never worn a helmet.
Yeah, like for me, like,
Which
it's
is
kind of
stupid,
just normal
but-
and not normal. But like for me, I'm not gonna think it looks any better without a helmet. Like, I mean, there's some
I think it
clips
looks
I
better
wanted
without a
to get
helmet.
with skiing.
Even riding
It's-
park, I think it looks better without a helmet. I've got some park
Yeah.
clips without a helmet on this year. I still think it looks better.
Yeah,
But
it
I like
can.
to use my brain instead of hitting it and losing it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just say it can, but it doesn't look good enough to really
justify it.
the risk.
And looking
Like,
good enough doesn't
if you hit your
justify
head hard enough
any
and
risk.
your helmet breaks. Like, if your helmet breaks and you didn't have a helmet on, think about the impact it would have went through your
Yeah,
to your
for
skull
sure,
on
dude.
that one.
I got like I don't want to say I got like I probably got 2 to 3 like little concussions this year, maybe more. And if I didn't have a helmet,
Yeah, I used to try to get that on average a year.
yeah, exactly. Usually on average, we usually
With a
back up
helmet.
2 to 3 conkies with a helmet on a year.
Yeah,
But like
probably.
no, but like seriously though, like and if I wasn't wearing a helmet, I probably would have been in a lot worse
Like,
situation.
they're not
now.
serious concussions. I had probably 2 or 3 severe, I'd say 2 severe or serious concussions. And the rest were all just, I would call them bell ringers, where I didn't even go anywhere. Because I knew if I told anybody, it would be way more complicated than me just knowing my body and being like, all right, I'm going to chill for a day and then just ski again.
Yeah, I've never got diagnosed for a concussion, but I
had one where it was substantial, like I lost consciousness, but that was not a skiing injury. I had a wall fall in my head.
Yeah, I've had a couple like a wall fall in your head. Where did that come
Yeah, I was
from?
demolishing some stuff with my grandfather, and this 82-year-old man is trying to hold this wall up, and it's windy, and I'm bent down trying to pry something, and it got away from him in the corner of the wall, fell over and got me right in the back of the head.
Yeah,
And I
that
was in the
it.
hospital for that one, for sure.
Yeah, no, but I haven't gone to the hospital over any concussions, but I've had a couple where I've hit my head and I've definitely like blacked out for a couple seconds. Like I had two to three this year where I hit my head and like hard enough that I dreamt I did it, like, and had immediate deja vu. Obviously, like I had a headache for the rest of the day, next couple days. But like, no, I've never gotten diagnosed again because it's usually going to be
The whole
like
concussion
a
thing
longer
is-
time than
I
I
don't-
want to deal with it.
I don't think that concussion should be treated lightly in any way, but
No.
I would definitely say, like, I've hit my head a lot of times where I'll be like, hey, this isn't really anything. I've had bad concussions, and I definitely know, like, that one that I was talking about, like, I had definitely implications that lasted months, like 4 to 5 months of trying to kind of, I went to school, like, reading was different, like,
Yeah.
I've definitely had a little bit of different time. Went away, but, I mean, I had another one. It was substantial. I was ramping at Beauport, and I was trying to do a right dub 10 mutes. I was like, I'm going to do a right dub 12 mute. And then I was like, I'm going to really tweak this right dub 12 mute. And I didn't let go, and I did a 14. And it would have been bolts on snow. Like, I would have landed, like, with a nice angle. But on ramps, all I did was land with my chest a little forward, but still landed, like, feet down, like, would have been a 4-point landing. But because my chest dropped, my forehead caught. And you know, when we used to ramp, that was on the triple, top down.
Yeah.
I capped all the bubbles.
Yeah.
And I was in the water, and everything was like a green and purple. Like light green, light purple, and it was like radio static. And I just kind of floated to the edge of the pool. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done. And I took 3 days off, and then I ramped again after 3 days.
Yeah.
No problem. Like, I didn't do anything for 3 days. Like, I chilled. I was just chilling in a black room for pretty well 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And then I started trampolining again, because apparently that's good for the old brain, because it uses your brain. Like, your ears is where you get your balance from. So it uses all of your brain when you start trampolining. What's apparently really good rehab after a certain amount of time. I wouldn't say just get a concussion, hop on a trampoline. No. But you rehab long enough, you got to start. Like, if you blow your knee, you're going to start rehabbing
Dr.
again,
Pat
right?
in the house.
If you just sit in a dark room for like 4 or 5 weeks because of a concussion, don't go see anybody to work on your neck, because if you've got muscle problems constricting different fluid movements, you're going to have problems. So if you don't do anything to it and you don't start training it, like, you're going to have implications that last a lot longer than.
For sure. I gotta work on my. I gotta work on my not listening to things full blast. My ears, like, I have a headache in one side of my head after skiing a whole day because I have music full blast, just raging through my one headphone when I'm skiing. It's not good.
That's so bad. Like, I always hated running one earbud. Like, it's bad. Like, I always ran it in this one, and I always sat on the far right of the chat. That was my spot. Like, I would bring two, depending on who I was riding with, because sometimes people like that position. But it would always be like, unless it was comp day. If it was comp day, I had 2 earbuds in. I wasn't talking to anybody. But
no.
It was, it is weird that it's so loud in one ear. Like, it definitely messes with your.
So I asked for some questions for the podcast today on Instagram. I'll run through a couple of them. One comes from Jay Williker. My man asked, Unrealistic 3. What are your thoughts on it? Did you ever watch that? Or did you see any of the clips that came out of it? I don't think the full thing's been... I don't think it's fully been released yet, but Jesper Tejader invited a bunch of people out to hit all the unrealistic features that he had in previous edits, and they posted a bunch of things on about it. Like, there's a bunch of clips about it. I don't know if they have released a full video yet. I don't think they have. But there were some pretty gnarly clips out of there. I saw... some people doing like it's just like the huge challenge rails, and people were doing like double swap for 2 outs and 4 outs and stuff like that, and some like
was it like
gnarly
the,
2-in flips in
like this sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you see Jesper Shader hit that this year.
Yeah, like Jesper hits some wild stuff. He's definitely like, I like watching him, but I never really took him seriously as a comp skier, because he do like switch dub 10s blender if he was spinning them one way, and like he was so good spinning one way and then not the other way.
He still does it.
Rail game.
Dude, like, he's doing switch. Did you watch X Games, or was it the World Cup he was in? I can't remember which one.
The switch dub backflip over the knuckle got way
underscored.
Like,
we covered that. What was
like,
that?
I definitely think he's definitely a really talented skier, but in terms of slope, like, that was definitely never what
it was
bread and butter was.
Yeah, for sure. It was the World Cup that the World Champions that Eddie won, the Big Air, or got second in. Yeah, he was doing switch dub blender 16s and 18s. It was so gnarly.
Add another 180 in here.
It was so gnarly, dude. Okay, well, we don't have much to say about that, my man. I'm sorry. Jacob Duro skis.
I'm definitely looking forward to see the video.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it in our podcast if it comes out, and I'll probably do a recap on YouTube because I've been. I just put YouTube videos out on everything now. It's crazy. Jacob Deerski said, have you ever been injured? I think we've covered most of this before. I've never been injured skiing, other than concussions.
We can do a podcast about that. You could definitely link up. I don't know if it was a Thought Tub episode or something. We definitely did talk about injuries in skiing.
Yeah, so for sure.
If he's looking to talk about it, you could link that up.
Yeah, go watch the Thought Tub episodes. I'm going to redo a lot of the Thought Tub episodes just by myself and just cover the topics. And maybe down the line when we have more money in an actual hot tub that we can put thoughts in and do a full-time episode series of it, we'll do that down the line. But for now, you go check that out. I'll link it down below. But no, I've never been injured skiing.
We should do an
episode. I've broken both my arms.
The guests the guest sits in an ice bath and we sit in a hot tub, and whoever taps out first loses.
That sounds great. No. Okay, here's the idea, right? It's called Thought Tub. We turn the pot. We do like once a month. We do a Thought Tub episode of the podcast, right? Me and you are in
limited edition once a month.
We're in limited edition ASC pink Speedos with our nipples greased, and the guy has to sit in between the two of us, guy or girl, whoever's on the podcast as a guest, has to sit in between the two of us while our arms are around him/her the whole time.
Why are the nipples greased? So the water like beads off of them?
Yeah, I think that's the point. Maybe we could just have nipple tassels. I don't know. One or the other.
Yeah, we'll do this stripper tassels.
So Luca Zach 14 asked, which 3 doubles should I try first? I'm gonna let you answer this one. You got a good grip on it. Cam Priddle also asked first doubles, so link the 2 questions together.
It totally depends where you're at. Like if my first double I did was a dub backflip on a backcountry-ish jump. When I say backcountry, I was in Ontario. I was on the side of the road, and I found a nice hill. I was like, oh, this is good deep snow.
That's Ontario backcountry.
I built the jump myself. It all depends. Like, that was my strong suit. When it came time to do doubles, competition-wise, I definitely did dub 10s first. But I did switch dubs on bag first. Like, I was doing dub 10s on ramps, and I had done switch dubs on bag. And, I mean, definitely, I don't think you can generalize it for one person. Like, if you're really good at flat spins and you feel comfortable.
Dub flat's a really easy dub if you ever get a dub flat, or you get flat spin.
I wouldn't say there's a cookie cutter way. Like, I mean, if you're an athlete and you're on, like, a provincial team, they're going to sell you a cookie cutter way. Like, you got to do dub 10 this way, you got to do dub 10 this way. All right, we're going to do switch dubs, and then when you get to that, we're going to do switch dub corks. Like, that's how they're going to follow it.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, being general as a skier, I mean, if you're really comfortable at underflips, for God's sake, let's start doing some switch dub underflip 9 blunts, and really, like, I would love to see some more of that stuff. But
dude, I did an underflip today. Underflip Cuban.
Oh,
it was very.
Was it lead Cuban?
Yes, it was.
Or you go this way and grab that way.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but I wouldn't say there's a cookie cutter way to do it. I would say figure out what you were confident with, make a goal, because if you have one that you like more than other ones, you're probably more apt to work harder at it.
Yeah.
Like if I really like doing switch cork 9s. And so doing a switch dub 12 would definitely be something I would want to learn. Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
If right now, if I was to start learning a new double, but that's what I would want to put the mileage in on. It just kind of depends. Pick something that you like and get comfortable with it. Don't just decide that you think you should do this one.
Because we said so. We're idiots. Don't listen to anything we say.
Make sure you're ready for it. Like, I definitely got held back at the time. Like, I probably could have done doubles earlier, but I got held back a few months and did a lot more singles, and I definitely say it paid off a lot.
Yeah, for sure it paid off.
My air awareness, so just definitely make sure you're ready before you start pushing it.
Even I would like to do more singles at this point. Generally, though, I think the easiest doubles are dub flat, dub back, obviously, and either dub 10 or switch dub, depends on which one you're more comfortable with.
They're not, I mean, if you've never done a double before, I remember how scary thinking they are, and then once you start doing them, like, they're really not that complicated once you know it down. Like, a dub back is going to be more risky and probably scarier than a dub 10.
Yes, but people sometimes don't know how to pull through on a set for a dub 10 and stuff, and they get tossed. So in terms of, like, technicality, the ones that leaves the nest
on a trampoline all day long.
The one that needs the needs the least amount of technicality is dub back. Dub flat would be there, and switch dub. Switch dub, you can pretty much yeet a switch dub pretty hard. And you won't get as lost as some people do in dub.
As long as you know how to pull out. Like I said, make sure you do end heavy 2 pieces on a trampoline if you're going to do a dub 10 or
make sure you know how to pull out.
If you're going to roll it to 12, it's not as important, but that'll really help you with keeping it at a 10 or a 9.
All right, last question, and then we'll bomb off the pod. Creativity and Slopestyle by Jay Wilker again.
Needs to be more of it for sure.
I think there needs to be more of it for sure. I think comp style is something that is very prevalent. I think I personally have a problem with it. Like, a lot of my tricks are comp style oriented, just in terms of the way I started park skiing. It's like swap 2 with 4 as out, 2 spins in, spins out. Not a lot of tail presses, not a lot of nose presses, things like that on rails, on jumps.
Yeah.
like just more creativity and style of tricks would be like, and
I
just
think-
flavor and style of tricks would be really
there's
sick.
a lot of
yeah.
things you can do to like. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of styling creativity in slopestyle because of the way that they judge events.
Yeah,
like,
that's the
it's
big
not
problem.
gonna be an X Games like real ski style event. So you will have to do mainly comp tricks, like you said. However, there's a very large difference between grabbing safety, mute, or blunt than like a lead stale or like a dub Japan or like a nose and like
there's a
carving your trick really hard, pole planting your takeoff. Like
I think
also,
that goes unnoticed a bit by judges.
Yeah, but for me as someone who's watching the event, I definitely noticed it a lot more. One thing I was going to say is it's really lost its sort of change is if you watched an event in 2012, 2010, 2014, people were doing dub 10s or 12s. They were not the same dub 10 or 12. Like, it was not, all right, this guy's doing a cork 6 to a flat 4 with a knee grab. It was, this guy is carving, doing a cork 7, and then, like, a really sick wobble 3. Or, like, an underflip. Or
this guy's doing a back full to a backflip.
Yeah, like, Torin did a dub 10 that was cork 5 to switch cork 5.
Yeah.
Like, you can do them a lot of different ways, and nobody really does that anymore.
Well, everybody's kind of got coached into the same axis because it genuinely is the easiest way to do it, but it does take a lot of flavor out of things. And there's there's something to be said about that when you're judging an event. Like, if somebody does a dub 10, like, again, cork 5 to switch 5, you might be like, hey,
that's a lot harder.
That wasn't clean. That wasn't clean or like perfect or technical, but like it's a lot harder. And there's the difference. Same with that between like grabbing a fucking boot safety where you like, holy shit, I'm going over my head twice, or grabbing like a hard low safety where you tweak it out to the side and add flavor to it. Like a hard low safety, like to grab safety with both your skis together and tweak it out to the side like that is considered.
There's like a pop that happens when it just kind of snaps back, and it's hard to do.
It's harder than grabbing mute or tail or a lot of those other grabs.
Absolutely. Like, that's the thing. Like, and like Alex Hall, when he used to do those seatbelt grabs, like, they were really technical, but I personally, I can't do it. I'm not dissing the trick at all, but like, I liked watching it probably for like the first few times, and it was like he was doing it 2 or 3 times in a run or something, and it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, when you do it in the same grab in 2 tricks in a run, I don't like that actually. For me, even now when I compete, and back then when I compete, like if I did grab the same trick or grab the same grab in one of my jumps on the run, I'd be like, I can't do that. I'd have to have a different axis for every jump, a different direction, a different axis, and a different grab. But that is just me, and like people still score really well with that, and that's the same thing as we were talking about when we talked about what's his face. Sorry for Antoine Adeliz. What's his face when big old what's his face. No, Antoine Adeliz, when he grabs nose and he does his switch dub or triple pre-nose, it was really sick. It's really gnarly. The first time we saw it, Elias Sejeras do it first.
3 X Games big airs in a row.
It's been even more than that, honestly. Like every big air, like it's almost like, and yeah, I get it because it scores well, but it's like, okay, we know you can do that. We've seen it. Let's try something different. Like Harlow has nose butter triples that he was doing like how long ago? He hasn't pulled it out in so long. Maybe because he's terrified of it. I don't know, but
it's a hard trick.
It's a hard trick, but like he's done it, and it's not something every big air event we see somebody like Harlow come to that event with a different trick. Even though the tricks he's already doing are working, we see him trying or innovating or doing something new. Whereas we see a lot of these comp athletes that have a trick that works for them, and then they just repeat
Which, if I was
until
judging,
it doesn't. Then they find another one. Yeah. If you're a judge and you show up at 5 events and the guy's in the same trick at all 5 events, I mean, obviously
you down considerably each time. I've seen that.
I mean, you shouldn't do that, but that
slope
in my
is
mind,
different. Like if you're in a sloper and you got to do 3 tricks, I get that. Slopes are, but big air is supposed to be a night of creativity.
Well, dude,
honestly, if you did like a really, really sick like switch bio 10 or 14 with nice grabs, nice axis, and went huge, I would probably score it higher than someone who has done the same trick 3 years in a row.
If you did a switch bio 14 single, like with a tweak safety, I would put that above a triple cork with a boot safety.
2 grabs, like safety to a nose or something, like really.
For sure, I would see the shit like that. Like when I go back and watch people like Vincent Gagne, Gagne's career has kind of like been all over the place in terms of like skiing. He did a little bit of slope, but like big air. But like you look at those big air tricks he did, like.
Dub bio 16 screaming seam into octave. When is the last time someone did
that? No one is even thought of like a dub bio 16 nowadays is like what Henrik Harlow and them are doing in like the Big Air, right?
He did it in a screaming semen to octo, like Genie to octo.
I don't understand how that didn't score higher. Like you give Henrik Harlow a perfect score on nose bar triple, but like, dude, that's equal to a nose bar triple, if not more, in my books. And like, you don't see anything like that anymore. And like, just in terms of creativity, like you see people add like different spins and rotations, but in terms of like really, really spicing up tricks like that, like that's something that's just like that's just. I don't think you see, and I don't think you'll see again for a while. I don't even know how to get to that point because there was no airbags or anything back at that time. Like water ramps, maybe, but
straight giver.
Yeah, like that.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, there's no skiers that I'm seeing coming up really that are showing that sort of flair and style and uniqueness.
Like you see some, like you see some people doing some things,
but nothing like they might get there, but there's just none that really stuck. I'm not.
Nothing
I'm
that unique.
about like a little. Sorry.
Nothing that unique.
No, not in like a World Cup level too. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like there's some guys who are not quite. They're just kind of in your spot, but
yeah, a lot of like the swerve skiers and stuff come up with very creative things on smaller tricks.
Yeah.
To not the same degree of difficulty. I mean, you see people doing things like the pre-nose, like switched up 16 or switched up 12 and stuff like that. That's creative and stuff. But again, like.
Yep.
We've seen that now, so it's not time to move on to something else, but like it's like what's next, I guess. Anyways, yeah, exactly. Dude, we have clapped an hour podcast already, man. Has it been, what day is it today? It's Friday? No, it's not Friday, it's Monday.
Sunday.
Wow, I'm way off. My calendar is all over the place. But yeah, dude, the fucking lit podcast, bud. Yeah, anything you want to add?
No, I think that was pretty good.
Cool, dude.
Obviously, yeah. I think it was a good one.
All right, last question of the night is penis sorry, not penis. We're not going to swear on the podcast. We're going to say hammer sandals or clam sandals for the treads. Clams or hammers on the bottom of the sandals, boys and girls. Let us know what you want. We'll make it happen. ASC Collection 2021. After looking good. Deuces. All right, lads. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Before I leave you guys, go get some merch from the ASC. Go support the cause. All the funds from this pre-sale will be going towards putting events on it, local in home hills, around the country in Canada, and hopefully we'll expand to the States this year. Not sure about that. But yeah, all the proceeds will be going towards that. 20% off all classics at the store now. If you're going to get it, go get it now. You guys get mad deals. Anything from the summer collection you guys buy, you guys get a mystery item, $15 to $30 included in that. So why would you wait? Why would you wait? Go get some ASC merch right now, and I'll see you guys in the hood.